You're gonna be popular. I'll teach you the proper ploys when you talk to boys. Because I knew you. I didn't grow up ever thinking that I had limits. And so when I came to New York and I, started this journey, I was like, I can do all of it. I can sing this way, I can sing that way, I can dance, I can, just give me the chance and I'll do it. And it was a learning curve for me to understand that, that isn't how it works.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't how it worked. I think we're finding our way in the industry now. It's good to see me, isn't it?
Before we get into it, we want to know top 3 off your head, top vocalists of all time.
Oh man, that's cruel. Okay. Mariah Carey.
Mm-hmm.
Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
And Aretha?
Who's number 1?
Don't ask me. That's so mean. That's so mean. Okay, well, I do say that I learned how to sing listening to Mariah, so I think I have to go. She can do everything. Like her range is so wide.
Range is insane. Which Mariah Carey songs were you singing to yourself?
It was My All, Honey, Vision of Love.
Oh, Vision of Love.
It was like that era. It was, And I will be loving you my whole life.
You started voice lessons at a young age, but did you always know that performing was going to be a part of your future?
I knew that singing was going to be. I had no idea that this was coming. Honestly, I didn't even really know about Broadway. I didn't know that you could do this for a living. And I mean, speaking of Mariah Carey, I wanted to be Mariah Carey. I was like, I'm gonna be a pop star. I'm gonna, and then you get older and you, I'm gonna go to college. Well, you can't study Mariah Carey in college. So what are you gonna do,
Imagine if you could just study.
Imagine, you might be able to at NYU. You can name your major.
Visions of Love 101.
Exactly. But in high school, I did a production of Les Mis. And that was really the first time that I think I got the theater bug like that. I had done, little community theater productions here and there, being the little kid and seeing all the adults. But that was my first time really taking on a role and learning a show that I had never heard of. And I think that really did it for me.
And you've had such a long journey so far. You've been so blessed to be in so many different productions.
Oh my goodness. I really have been so blessed. And all of the shows I've done have been so different.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to take on and learn different parts of myself, honestly. I did Les Mis on tour, and then I did Mamma Mia in Vegas. That was a blast. Oh my goodness, we had so much fun. And then I came back and I made my Broadway debut in Motown. So I was a swing in that show, and I understudied Diana Ross.
Yeah.
So all in all, I knew 9 tracks.
Oh my God.
9 for my Broadway debut. But the amazing thing about that is after that, everything else was a breeze.
Oh yeah.
I was like, well, I can do 9, so I can do 2.
And that's where you learned that you really needed to dance and sing and really building up that stamina.
Yeah, you have to know how to do all of it. At least be proficient. You're not gonna be hired every time to do everything. And I would not call myself a dancer. Other people have. And I always laugh and say thank you.
I'm wondering how navigating this industry as a Black woman has impacted you as an artist.
I didn't grow up ever thinking that I had limits. And so when I came to New York and I, started this journey, I was like, I can do all of it. I can sing this way, I can sing that way, I can dance, I can, just give me the chance and I'll do it. And it was a learning curve for me to understand that, that isn't how it works.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't how it worked. I think we're finding our way in the industry now, but it doesn't matter if you can do that role, they only want to see you for this one. So even if that's not really your personality, or that's not really where your voice sits, this is how you look, and so this is what they are more interested in.
It's the box they put you in.
Yeah, and everyone gets put in a box. And that's just how it was, because it's this is the formula, this is how it's always been, this is what works, this is what sells, boom, cut, print. Yeah. And that was really hard for me when I first started, because I just wanted a chance to audition. I was like, just watch me. If
let me do it.
Yeah. If after you see it, it's not for you, that's okay. But it starts to wear on you. Like, well, they won't even see me?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
Especially when I had a resume to show, it's like, I can't even get seen?
What responsibilities do you feel like you have to yourself and also to the people that are looking up towards you when you take up these spaces, when you fill them up?
I put so much pressure on myself. Yeah. And it's something I have had to work on this past year, because it was to the point where, I'm gonna cry a little bit, I'm sorry. Oh no. Like, it was to the point where like I was going to work injured, cause I was like, I can't miss it. Like, people are coming to see this and I can't let them down. Yeah. And I put so much pressure on myself. It wasn't something I was sad to do. I kind of talked about it being like an awesome responsibility. Yeah. Something that I am proud to be able to wear, I'm happy that I'm strong enough to carry that. Yeah. And to represent so many people's dreams and my own dreams, and to hopefully have opened the door and have propped it open, and that's another thing I put so much pressure on myself on, was now that you have been the one that has chosen to open this door, you have to make sure it stays open.
I think that's the point you really have to lean on. You were chosen.
Yeah.
Specific, nothing happens out of nowhere. The universe is not random.
Yeah.
And you can feel that when you're on stage. You really can. It comes through.
Absolutely.
They did such a good job.
It's blubbering.
Oh God, we let Brittney go.
Didn't know you were gonna make me cry.
Because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
I am a Black woman. I am the first Black woman to play Glinda. I am not Black Glinda. I'm not getting new lyrics. I don't have they're not changing the role to now be Black. So we're not gonna qualify my qualification to be here based on my skin color. We are gonna celebrate the fact that now we have disrupted this precedent. That's what history is. It's disrupting a precedent. We had 15 years of something, and now we are disrupting it, and we are making space for more.
Yeah, because it's time.
Yeah, and it's exciting, and yes, let us celebrate that. And then let us not qualify this performance by that.
Because it others you. It puts you over here, and it
does.
puts all the other Glindas over there.
Yeah, and then it means that you come and now you're looking at my Glinda through a filter that you don't need to look at it through. It's the same character played by a different person, just like all of the other people. They've all been different people putting their take on a role. And so that's why immediately I was like, I need to come up with my own hashtag to be able, and that's where Brittney the Good was born.
We love Brittney the Good. Oh my God.
Because I was like, it shouldn't be about that. We should celebrate it, and we should use it as momentum to move forward and to have all of us be able to now hopefully just audition and show what we can do.
Yeah.
But we should not be separating ourselves based on that and qualifying it.
Don't be offended by my frank analysis. Think of it as personality dialysis.
I've read that singing in church and your mother's influence was just really formative for you when you were coming up. And I'm wondering if you could share with us a bit about your faith and your mother's support and how much that's impacted your career and your journey.
Truly, it's been everything. The only constant has been God, my faith, and my family, my mom.
She's such a strong woman. I'm not going to cry again. I'm not going to do it.
I have tissues. We're ready. It's okay.
But she's the reason why I grew up thinking that there were no limits. I still believe that there are no limits. Why? Why put that on yourself?
Yeah.
There are no limits when you're prepared. No limits. And I think singing in church, finding and developing that relationship with God is the first time that you feel that there's something bigger than you, there's something other than you, and you have a purpose. And that purpose is not just to elevate yourself. And that is always what has grounded me. And I think, especially when you do something like this, when you break a mold, there has to be a level of humility where you realize it didn't have to be you. It could have been someone else. And they would have done a great job. So why were you chosen? And what are you gonna do with that opportunity? How are you gonna give back? And how are you gonna make sure that you aren't the only one? And I think that has been, that really has been my heartbeat in all of this. It's like God chose you to do this. He didn't have to. But if you are consistent in your values and in just what is important to you and the legacy you want to leave, the type of person you want to be, and how you want other people to leave your presence feeling, then I think you get there.
Popular. You're gonna be popular. I'll teach you the proper ploys when you talk to boys. Little ways to flirt and glance. I'll show you what shoes to wear, how to fix your hair. Everything that really counts.